I walked up to my boss and said, there's this idea, and that boss called Ola in and like, this idea, I learned both of you have been working together and you have this idea. And now this is the phrase. I just want both of you to know that I'm going to present it to the top person in the organization, right? And I want both of you to know that when I present this and when the job is done and I present this to the top boss in the organization, I will take credit for it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. I just need to say something.
Yeah.
This kind of statement.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say if it's me, you've killed my morale. That work, I'll not do it again.
Yeah. And I can actually move from 0 to 100 in split second. You understand? So, but the thing is that I try to process the action before I react. That is for me. So if you have been doing this consistently, I will observe, and of course I will try probably to engage you. You understand? But if I see that there is more than, I mean, you are biting more than you can chew, I will just let it go. I mean, I will let it off, and at some point, some of my reactions have come back to bite me.
I'm not too big on respect, but I feel like once you respect yourself, it will be difficult for the next person to
disrespect you. Yeah. Exactly. I think that thing has to do with the mindset too. Has to do with the mindset.
To whom? May concern.
To whom?
It may concern.
Hi guys, welcome to another interesting ethics pod episode. We know we've been gone for a minute, but we're here. Stay tuned and enjoy. We're going to be starting with a very interesting yet undermined question. Nimi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm awesome.
Kenny,
Well,
how are you?
I'm so glad to be here, and I can't wait to set the ball rolling. You know, just as you said, it's an interesting topic we have on our hands, and I'm very sure we all have a lot of experiences to share.
Yes, and
but
I think
I don't want to probably remove. How did they say that?
Take the cat out of the bag.
Take the cat out of the bag.
Yes, but before you guys, why are you guys doing like this? I mean, what happened
Calm
to Mr.
down.
Okon in the control room?
Wow.
Calm
Ola,
down.
and Dari, and Comfort, and Amina. But hello, you guys can't see my face, but we're happy to have you around.
We're also happy to have you.
Very well, interesting.
You know, because of I won't let the cat out of the bag yet. You people should let us hold the suspense. The reason why I asked how are you is because sometime in January, was it in January when the fuel price went up?
Yes, in January.
And a senior friend of mine asked me, how are you? And I answered, I'm fine. But after like 2 seconds, I'm like, I'm not fine. I'm not fine. And he was shocked because, you know, in Nigeria, we've normalized how are you?
Yeah.
Fine. So I was like, I'm not fine. And he was shocked. I was like, why? I said, because my pocket is crying.
Exactly.
The price I'm buying fuel now, I am not finding it funny. But good enough, I am fine too.
Yeah.
Interesting. So at this point, I will, I'm actually expecting that probably someone, maybe Nimi or Nene will throw more light on what we are discussing today. Why is it so germane that it affects productivity at work, and why some people? How do we even link it to corruption? So, do you care to share an insight on this?
Okay, so first of all, we are talking about toxicity in the workplace. Okay. We've been waiting for this day, like literally the three of us. I don't know, except either of them is saying something otherwise. But we've been waiting for this episode to come up.
No, we have. Maybe because of the topic, that's why it has taken this long to put together.
And because we've had personal experiences, so we've been waiting to share it with you guys. So, Nene,
Are you going to share your personal experiences?
Of course,
yes.
of course.
One or
I'm willing to.
throw light to one or two, Mr. Ola. It won't be an interesting topic if for us and for the viewers if you've not experienced it.
Yes.
Because to be honest, you can't talk about what you've not experienced.
Okay, so but basically, let's focus the attention of the viewers and give a background on that thing we are discussing today. So I don't know, maybe Nene.
Okay, so we did a poll on our Instagram page, and we have a collective answer on what a toxic workplace is. Okay, so a toxic workplace is any work environment where the culture, behavior, or systems make employees feel unsafe, undervalued, or constantly stressed. Not because the job is hard, but because of how people react with each other.
Amazing. You see, as she was reading, I was trying to see how I can actually tie this to corruption,
Right.
how I can actually tie it to productivity.
Right.
You understand? It's a very complicated topic
Yes.
that it affects virtually everyone. But talking about experiences and how it affects me personally, I wouldn't want to mention name, but I had worked in an organization where the organization was dominated by people from one Asian country. I wouldn't want to mention the name of the country now, but we all, while growing up, we watch their movies a lot. We watch
Well, there are a lot of movies from yes, because there are a lot of movies from a lot of Asian countries.
Yes.
All right.
So to whom the stray bullet wants to go.
Exactly.
So, in the course of working with these guys, it was tough. Like, I checked my mail one time and I realized that I was resuming work by 8 o'clock
Oh.
and I was closing by 6 o'clock. I was asking myself that, how did I pull this off? You understand? And that wasn't enough. I worked under stringent conditions. At some point, that was in 2015 or thereabouts, when the former Vice President Oshibajo was having a debate online, and they finished around 11:30 or thereabouts. These guys made me to stay back in the office. I stayed back in the office, and on my way going home, I almost got kidnapped.
Wow.
I was by the junction. I had no car. I had to use the public transport. I was by the junction, saw one black car just parked in front of me, and I decided to move forward.
Interesting.
You understand? I decided to move forward. This car kept trailing me. I had to run for my life. But the most annoying part of it was that I got to the work the next day. Nobody asked me how I got home. You understand? I even narrated my experience with them. Nobody cared. The work must go on.
Continue.
I worked on Saturdays. I work on Sundays. You understand? And
Wow,
I was
7 days in
Yes,
the
so I was the one, because these guys could barely
week.
communicate in English. You understand?
which
and
is
these
a problem on
Yes,
its own.
yes.
So, and these, most times when you talk to them, they put it on Google Translate, and Google will translate what you are saying in English to them. And to shock you, these guys were collecting about $10,000. I'm talking about 2018, 2019.
That's it.
And I was the one doing the work. Oh. You imagine, I was the one doing the work, but they were never satisfied when it comes to
Your output.
Your output. They always have one thing to say, one thing to do, and they were always trying to instigate the owner of the company against you, like telling the
Was
owner
the
of the
owner
company,
from
the owner was from Nigeria. You understand? Telling the owner that you were not good enough, you were not. In fact, they even recommended at some point that the owner should sack me.
I
You
think
understand? These are the people I write script for. You understand? They were earning more than me. So imagine someone earning $10,000 in 2018. But they made the environment so hostile to the point that there was nothing you do that was ever good in their eyes. So at some point, if I wake up in the morning, I was always afraid that, do I even have a job? Will I even have a job the next day? Because that was what they were constantly doing to some of my colleagues at that point.
Yeah.
You know, any little thing, they shout at you, they call you derogatory names, and it has actually affected my psyche. You understand? So it was one experience I will never forget. Honestly.
let me ask this question. Do you think that hierarchy had a role to play? Because you said you were working with foreigners, but the owner of the company was a Nigerian. So probably if you were up there in that company, you would have had a close access with the owner of the company. So do you think hierarchy plays a major role? Do you get my point,
Yes,
Nini?
it played a major role because they were practically the one interfacing with the owner of the company, and it is what they were feeding the man
Him with.
that he was using to take action. So many people were sacked. I would like to you.
But that plays out in privately owned establishments.
Mostly. Not it's not an exclusive thing.
Okay.
Why I asked if this is peculiar to privately owned businesses is because I have the impression that even though there's a systematic problem with hierarchy
Yeah.
in government organizations, I feel like it's worse in privately owned or so businesses because
Yeah.
those ones can just wake up and sack you.
Yes.
And in Nigeria, we have a very peculiar problem of if you don't want the job, there are millions of people looking for the job.
Yes. Yes.
So
Exactly.
somebody can just
That
wake
line.
up, and even if you are giving the person your blood, he can perceive that you are not doing anything,
Yes.
and have this notion that 1,000,001 other people are looking for the job. So he will kick you out without any consideration. So it's this circle of you are dispensable.
Yeah.
So you
Exactly.
wake up in the morning not knowing whether if I get to the office, sack letter is waiting for me.
Exactly.
Because that on its own is pity, can give people anxiety, can give
Yeah.
you.
Do you know how cogent this topic we are discussing is? I mean, I know that, for instance, there's something that the ICPC has, which is the National Ethics and Integrity Policy,
Integrity
right?
policy,
And
yeah.
there are some key,
7 core
I mean,
values.
some core values. There's human dignity.
Yes.
And there's professionalism, right? And those things are simply saying, look, beyond somebody stole money, but there's also this thing where if you are interacting with people in the society, you need to show respect, you need to be professional, you need to have integrity. And some of these things can have adverse effects on an organization.
Yeah.
Because if I already know that this man, she is threats of sack, what stops me from putting my hand inside the jar, the cookie jar?
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. God bless you.
Because I know tomorrow you are going to tell me that I will fire you.
fire you,
I
yeah.
will cuckoo start trying to make extra by the side.
And it actually affects the job. It affects the productivity. It affects the output.
Yeah.
You understand?
Because a lot of people will be lackadaisical at that point.
Exactly, because at that
Because
time,
at that
with
point,
this particular company I worked for, you know, despite all we've put in and not being appreciated, you realize that people started applying elsewhere. You understand? They are applying elsewhere, and of course, the salary was not good, and people were talking to the management. They don't want to listen. In fact, the moment you come, you get your sack letter.
Wow.
You understand? So
Sorry to
just
cut you. That's immediately you complain.
Yes,
You
you get
did-
your sack. You get your sack letter.
Wow.
So and for that reason, people started looking for the loopholes in the company. You see the accountant trying to cut from there. You see someone going outside. soliciting for brown envelope. Let me put it that way. You understand? These were something that were not there before. These were something that had it been you provided a conducive environment, had it been you provided a conducive room for people to actually express their mind, walk freely, it wouldn't have happened. So it's still tied to the 7 core values that ICPC is trying to is
Has on
preaching.
ground.
You understand? If you are not if you don't value human dignity, you don't your integrity, no respect for and for human dignity and what have you. You understand? This is going to impact on the work, and it gives room for corruption and corrupt practices.
You know the funny thing about this, his experience, you know there are some organizations that say we are family or we have an open door policy. These ones are not even telling you that we have an open door.
You know this we are family thing. There's this one, they say, oh, you spend out of your 24 hours, you are spending 10 inside the office. So therefore, these people are your family. But you are my family.
That's,
but why are you inside Oga's office?
That is a
saying
false
that
intimacy
this guy
trap.
is something.
It's a trap.
False intimacy. I like
Yes,
that.
it
False
is a
intimacy
trap.
trap. Because this guy, Ola is like my brother. Nana is like my guy. But then, why are you in the other office
Exactly.
saying that see his shoe? His shoe is 250,000 naira. How much is his salary? Please. So that's another thing again that often happens. And how I want you guys to like shed your opinions, shed some light on it. How do you think we get to this point where all of a sudden with your co-workers, with your employees, there's more, how do you feel that, how did we get to this point where there's more envy? Why is there more annoyance, right, between colleagues, between employees, rather than us focusing on the job?
Okay, I think before I buttress, on what Mr. Ola just said.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Before
Ola just said,
'Cause-
before they fight me here.
Who is Mr. now?
This false intimacy trap. For people who just get into the public service newly, they don't get to understand that when you're working, your colleagues are your colleagues. They don't know until like 2 years, or maybe a year. For me, with my personal experience, I just felt like, oh, well, I found a new family. We're family.
No,
family.
but I disagree with Nimi.
Oh, okay.
For me and the experiences I've had,
Okay.
I'm not saying you cannot build a family in your work environment. For me, I feel like it's not immediate. It's not 1 year, it's not 2 years, it's not 3 years.
And not something you can force.
Yes.
You should have worked with that person for at least 5 years.
Yes.
Before you can now beat your chest and say this person is family. Because I've had friends that I worked with from when I did NYSC, and they've come through for me in ways that I cannot begin to count.
yeah.
Yes. Meanwhile, when we started the job, in fact, there's one particular one. When we started the job, because he's bigger and taller than me, he used to treat me like his elder brother. And when he wants to tell some stories, he'll say I should cover my ear, that the conversation is not for me. And I look at him and I'm laughing and I'm like, see this small child. But I did it because I didn't want to impose, because at the time I was the oldest in that circle. But I didn't want to impose or argue with him that, oh, I'm your senior. So I would just laugh with him until the day, a year later, I had finished my service, but I used to go and visit them. And I came with my wedding ivy. And it was like the ground should open and swallow him. So it was that day he knew that not only am I older than him, I gave him gap. But we had built a strong bond that even when he found out, he started giving me my respect, but we still had that, you're my guy, I'm your guy. It's also a case of, you know, there are some people in the workplace where that let's become family, they have ulterior motive.
Yeah, I wasn't, you know, when I raised that point, I was saying it based on a general level. Do
Okay,
you get?
okay.
For instance, there's Kenny, and I've known Kenny for 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yes.
There's Ola. I've known Ola for 5 years. Ola is behind the camera. There's Comfort. I've known Comfort for 5 years. As a matter of fact,
We were roommates.
we were roommates. I was roommates
Training.
with Comfort, and now we work together. I don't see Comfort as my colleague. I see Comfort as my sister. Do you understand? I see Ola as my G.
No, as your sister.
As you know, I called Ola yesterday and he didn't take my call. So I called Dari and Dari picked my call. I said, give the phone to Ola. Ola said, yes, what is the problem? I'm like, I called you. Why? May I know why you were not picking? You know, he's my guy. You know, he's my senior in the office. But I know that he's my senior, but he's my guy first before he's my senior.
Fact,
You get?
fact.
Because, you know, he helps the
Yes, so
workflow,
because of the amount of years you've stayed together.
Yes, exactly.
That's the relationship has gone from colleagues to family.
And then there are some conversations you can have with people you've known for that long. You know, you can
inside
have
and outside the work environment, or work related.
Even if it's not work related, if you need opinion, you need advice, you can call them and say, this is XYZ. I need your input. I need your advice. So
You know, I was going to ask a question. As you were talking, the question came to my mind. So, how do you now draw the line of being a friend,
Yeah.
being a colleague,
Yeah.
and not allowing that to affect the job? You know, when they said when complacency sets in,
Setting, yeah.
Yes.
some people take that friendship or that relationship, they abuse it.
Yes.
So how do we address that?
I'd come in here because, and I mean, we are all individuals from different backgrounds.
Yes.
And that's why we all have so many sides to what we're talking about. So for me personally, I'm a hybrid of an introvert and an extrovert. I like being out and I like to meet people out and I like us to be out. But then I have personal space. And my personal space is not just my house or my car, but also in the office is psychological.
Yes.
Meaning that I can come to the office with a frowning face. And then when I see people around, I push it out because I don't want them to ask me because I'm not going to tell them.
Yes.
Right? So this drawing of the line, I think professionalism again
Yes.
should dictate that, look, this person is my colleague. I'm looking out for him or
Right.
he should look out for me.
Right.
But then you draw the line based on the differences that you know these people have from their backgrounds. Some people did not grow up around siblings. Some people are only children. Some people grew up in a polygamous home. Some people grew up, you know, and all these things matter. So
Right.
where you see somebody who feels like, oh, once I have an issue, I can talk. There's another person who feels like, I'm not talking.
Yeah.
And
Don't
once you
force
are
it.
calling, and don't force it.
Don't force
Very
it,
important.
yeah.
Don't force it. But then if you guys are really sincere with each other, then you find a way to say, okay, this person is my G, but she doesn't like to talk. But I'm respecting. And then you discover sometimes that somebody will be like, you didn't even ask me why I was like this. And I'm like, but I thought you didn't want to know. It's just that you get, then you flow. But then if you also notice that there's pushback, then it's up to you to learn that person's boundaries, right? You learn the
Their
person's boundaries.
boundaries,
That I've noticed that when this person's face is like this, if you ask him or if you talk, he doesn't want to talk. So you learn the boundaries, you respect the boundaries. It doesn't stop.
There are even some people that they will talk, but not that time that their face is not good. Just give them time to cool off. Then they can come and tell you what is it. But when you're asking them
At
that time,
moment,
that is,
yeah.
it feels like you are
prying.
Yes.
Like you're prying. So, but then again, when we link all this back, I mean, I saw one very funny. I was just on my phone while you guys were talking, and I was like, oh, let me even Google some toxic traits in the workplace. And I saw one and lips sealed, but lips not sealed. They said
Spill it.
credit stealing, which is Dari is behind the camera we're doing these podcasts, and then the podcast is done, and then everybody on set is getting their credit and everything. But what happened to the person behind the camera? Your Oga gives you work. You do it fantastically well. And then the Oga of your Oga says, amazing job. In fact, take this 50,000. But what happens to the person
that actually did the work?
Job. Can I say something?
Fire on.
I think Ola should know what I'm talking about if he remembers. I remember one time there was an idea that popped up in my head, and I walked up to my boss and said, there's this idea, and that boss called Ola in and like, this idea, I learned both of you have been working together and you have this idea. And now this is the phrase. I just want both of you to know that I'm going to present it to the top person in the organization, right? And I want both of you to know that when I present this and when the job is done and I present this to the top boss in the organization, I will take credit for it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. I just need to say something.
Yeah.
This kind of statement.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say if it's me, you've killed my morale. That work, I'll not do it again.
It is why we are discussing this. Comfort was just showing me on the phone that, link it to corruption and everything. And I'm like, I mean, what's corruption? Unfair advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Undue advantage. That's what it
Exactly.
is.
Well, I may not see it that way.
Right.
Because I actually believe that you are growing in the system.
Yeah.
Do you get?
True.
Because, and all these things is not that, Ola, I used to discuss this thing with Ola. Most of the work we do, or most of the work delegated to us, is not that our bosses cannot do them all by themselves. They are actually training you and building you for the position.
No,
where
Kenny, I disagree.
I disagree.
Wait, I'm going somewhere.
That statement, no.
You understand?
That
I'm going
statement, no.
so-
That statement
Of-
just no. He didn't have to say it.
Okay. Sometimes I draft press releases for my boss.
Okay.
You understand? But I'm not the spokesperson. It is me that is writing the.
But
the
he doesn't
statement.
tell you.
So do you expect me to take credit for such things?
But he doesn't tell you just know that when this press release goes out to the press, I will take the credit.
Do you guys remember when you guys do good?
Yeah.
It's for me. But when you do bad, it's for you and your village. I think if we weigh that thing, yes, there's an element of you being trained. I personally have learned not to yearn for credits. Personally.
Yes.
And that does not take away from somebody who wants credit. Because you see, there are people that need credit to function.
To function.
And you cannot begrudge them. If they need credits to function, you have to learn how to do it. So I think there has to be a balance in workplaces, in organizations. There has to be a balance between, look, I'm training this person to do something, to learn how to do something, and also saying, amazing job. And then when somebody high up says, amazing job. My team, I have a fantastic team. Nothing wrong with that. I have a fantastic team. Like, saying I have a fantastic team doesn't really take away from you, the Oga. Neither does it take away from...
Or you, the Oga, come back to your team and tell your team, well done.
You did great.
You did well.
You did amazing.
The overall Oga said we did a fantastic job.
Like they
How
told,
about
like
that?
they told you guys about the last podcast.
Because I'm not disputing what Kenny is saying.
Yep.
I'm just saying, like you mentioned, some people need that credit to function. It helps boost their morale.
Yeah.
So how about you don't say some things, especially for organizations where you are too large for you to study everybody, to know who likes
like have
credit.
a personal relationship with.
Know who likes the credit and who doesn't care about it. How about you just let it be? Because as far as I was concerned, her boss didn't have to say that. He could have just
Taking the credit.
Okay. I think I may want to deviate a little now.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw this question to both of you.
Right.
How do you manage a difficult boss?
Ooh.
Because managing a difficult boss is like someone who is never satisfied with what you do.
Yeah.
Someone who in the process of correcting you uses some foul languages on you. Because for someone like
I can't
me,
deal. Sorry.
you can't deal.
Foul languages.
Yes.
Abusive. I can't deal.
Someone
sorry.
has told me you are very stupid before.
Nah.
Not in my present
Like
organization.
literally?
You are very stupid.
Nah.
You understand? I had to at some point I called that woman aside that no, even my mom will not tell me, will not use these words on me. Why will you tell me I'm stupid? If you want to correct me, there are better ways to do that. Don't tell me that I'm very stupid. The second time she did that, I told her that I'm not stupid. She now said, are you now saying I'm stupid? I said, you can do with
To whom it may concern.
so you can do with whatever you think about
with
it.
the information
But you
what
cannot
you
tell me that I'm stupid. This is a work environment.
You know, I cannot answer this question because luckily for me, I've not been in a situation where I've been with a boss that has used foul language, because the way I'm wired, at that point, I don't know how I'll react.
You will go from 0 to 100.
Real quick.
So,
The balance will be high.
so I cannot relate. But the closest I've been is I was not the one she was shouting at. She was shouting at a friend of mine. And at that point, I was just asking myself, like, if this woman was talking to me, what would I have done? There are a lot of things that come to my mind. If you are maybe my mother's age, I'm most likely going to be mute when you finish talk. And that mute, I'll switch off. Like I can be standing there and I'm not hearing anything you're saying. When I see that your mouth is not moving anymore, I'll walk away.
Yeah.
If you are much younger, I might, the way I'm wired, I'm most likely going to answer you. And damn the consequences, because at that point you've passed the workplace ethics.
Yeah.
You've passed professionalism. So let all of us be mad together.
But is and this is for like the three of you, this whole age thing, I feel is a very touchy subject in organizations, in workplace environments, because on the one hand, we are a very cultural people in Africa.
Extremely
And as
cultural.
Nigeria. In fact, extremely. So there's the part where culture and heritage is amazing for us because this is what we grew up to know and it's our identity. But then where is the other part where, oh boy, keep your age for house, because do you understand? Like,
Honestly, okay,
You saw the description of the job before you came to collect
Yes,
it.
I'm going to digress a little bit. I saw a post one time online that said when you have way older people as your besties in the office, and I'm talking about Mr. Solomon. Mr. Solomon is always behind the camera, and
everybody's
for
bestie.
Mr. Solomon is everybody's bestie. There are days he looks for me and he comes to my office. I'm like, why are you looking for me? May I know? And this is like 20 to 25 years, age gap. But he's such an amazing man. But somebody else will take it personal. They will expect you to bring in culture, to lick their feet.
Some people cannot even play the way he plays.
Some people can't even play the way he play. Everybody has, one relationship or the other with Mr. Solomon in the room.
Honestly, if you ask me, I'm a very cultural person. I'm very big on respect.
Yeah.
You understand? But be that as it may, I always try to respect people, irrespective of your age, even if you are way younger than me.
Yes.
Because the moment you bring that disrespect to me, I may not be able to take it. You understand?
You won't know. You won't know what you'll do.
So I try not to pass my boundary.
Yes.
You understand? And I try as much as possible not to launch my age, my position over you. You understand? That's how I believe I manage the age thing and the seniority thing in a workplace environment.
I think me and you I think I agree with you on that. Me, what I do is, okay, like take example ICPC. There are a lot of people that are below in I'm above them in rank.
Yeah.
But they are way older than me. And I keep telling people, greeting is not, it doesn't take anything away from me.
Yeah.
So when I come to the office in the morning and I see them, and they are way older than me in age, but I'm above them in rank, good morning. And some of them till today are shocked. Some of them don't even know, because of the fact that I greet them, they don't even know what my rank is. And I don't know if they've asked questions, but they keep wondering, why is she the one greeting me first? But I just greet you and keep it moving, because I'm not too big on respect, but I feel like once you respect yourself, it will be difficult for the next person to disrespect
you. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that thing has to do with the mindset too. Has to do with the mindset.
Interesting.
Speaking on culture, I remember a ministry back where I come from. When I got a job there and I got in, that day, the day I went for the interview, I was wearing trousers.
Oh, okay.
And immediately I got in, every officer I passed had a disgust on their face.
Wow.
And the first person that was bold enough to walk up to me told me, "Excuse me, ma, we don't wear trousers here."
Wow.
And I'm like,
interesting.
wow. I was like, please, we are godly people here. I'm like, when did the government institution become godly and ungodly institutions? And she was like, please, and we know that you're coming for interview now. Please, when you start walking, and your skirt or your gown should not be above your knee. And I'm like, or is it an extension of my church that I'm coming to start here? Like, what's the problem? And so I was forced to go and buy skirts and gowns that were way below my knee.
I'm sure if it was me, I would have left the job.
Because I didn't want problem.
And again, to bring this back again to, our parent organization and everything, it still stems to the point that the moment in an organization, it seems like there's some toxic traits and there's some coldness and frigidity, it affects the work environment, it affects the output, it also affects the morals. Somebody is coming to the office saying, oh, you know what, I want to behave myself, I want to be a good person, I want to be exemplary. But if people keep pushing you to the wall and pushing you down, that kind of leaves, we're not justifying corruption in the work environment, but we're
trying to pinpoint
yes, because there's a reaction. Yes, there's an action and a reaction. And you know how they would say, something is an idle mind is the devil's workshop, and blah, blah, blah. And, this kind of thing sets a foundation. It gives room for these things to grow. Do you understand? Exactly. It is when you don't treat somebody right, or you're talking to somebody anyhow, then all of a sudden, okay, let's paint a scenario. Somebody's an auditor. An auditor, maybe in a procurement process, you're supposed to be on the lookout to ensure that your organization gets value for money.
Right.
Now, this auditor comes to work in the morning, and the first thing he meets is his guy who told him, you are very stupid for what you did yesterday. Now, procurement, a vendor comes in the afternoon and brings goods, and this auditor is supposed to check it. You are very stupid, they told him in the morning, that he's still thinking about. They will now say, this thing is 1 terabyte, he will now look and say, Onkpe is even 500, is 512. Serves them right. Share is
After all,
this man, share
they
they
say
say
I'm
I'm stupid. Let's all be stupid together. And that person has, that's dereliction of duty. It is not professional what he has done, and 2 wrongs don't make it right. But it is important for people who are in positions of authority, who have people under them, to ensure that they live a proper culture. I mean, organizations are supposed to have a positive culture. So it's very important.
Or this example I just gave of dressing. Imagine that somebody like me now wakes up in the morning and I need to be in the office by 9 o'clock. And I've spent 1 hour looking for what to wear, because my organization that is supposed to just be bothered about decent dressing is bothered about whether you're wearing skirt or you're wearing trouser. And then by the time you finally find what to wear, you are mentally exhausted.
Amazing. Honestly, it's a very complicated one. For me, I will just advise that, okay, we just need to find a balance in all this. You know, we are a very cultural people. And of course, someone may be saying that from the prism of religion. You understand? The person may not be able to come out to tell you that maybe probably the two religion we practice in the country, it does not permit what you are doing. But the person is actually tying it to work, which is not supposed to be in the first place. You understand? So that is just, is there any other thing we need to
I said I was going to ask you and Nini. I need to know your take on, bullying disguised as seniority.
Okay, maybe Nene may want to go first because...
Have you experienced it?
Yes.
My dear sister, you can't bully me. I want to believe I'm difficult to bully. But bullying is...
disguised as seniority.
Yes, some people... You know that there are some people that don't know the difference between bullying in the workplace and actually exerting seniority.
Yeah.
Exerting authority.
Yes.
Authority, yes.
Because I've been in environments where, you know this thing they say, short people problem or small people problem. The example I want to give now, she always says, oh, is it because I'm small? So it was because of that she now went from trying to exert, oh, I'm small, they take advantage of me, and try to make everybody know that, oh, in this room, I'm the senior. She went from that to bullying. And so you can be laughing with her. Once she enters the office, her face will turn to somebody that has entered a war zone, because she feels like, oh, she's small, they're taking advantage of her, so she has to toughen up. So I think that's problem number 1. For these seniors to, first of all, identify that, my dear, you have moved from establishing your seniority to actually bullying.
For me, I came from a background where what you give me is what you get. You understand?
Yeah.
And I can actually move from 0 to 100 in split second. You understand? So, but the thing is that I try to process the action before I react. That is for me. So if you have been doing this consistently, I will observe, and of course I will try probably to engage you. You understand? But if I see that there is more than, I mean, you are biting more than you can chew, I will just let it go. I mean, I will let it off, and at some point, some of my reactions have come back to bite me. But I'd always been standing my ground in the face of bullying. So nobody can actually bully me.
Yeah.
And I don't encourage bullying in a work organization because it affects many things. It affects output, it affects productivity and what have you.
Because the honest truth is that most times, because you cannot control how you react might now be more than the initial thing that triggered your reaction. take for example this idea of insult. You have a boss who insults you on a daily basis, and then after a period of time, it now looks like you have bottled up so much that the day you explode, he might have just told you, maybe you're talking and he says, shut up. And that's the day. That's the last thing that makes you explode. Unfortunately, when a panel is set up, he will say the only thing he told you was shut up.
He will not even tell you he told you to shut up. You understand? He will not be using your word. That thing you said in response to him telling you to shut up is what the person will now be using against you. The person will conceal the fact that he or she triggered that response from you.
For me, I've had different experiences. Now, I'm going to share a bit of my personal experience, with the viewers. I get into an organization as a junior staff, right? Now, there's already this notion, there's already this mindset and expectation of how a junior staff should look, of how a junior staff should dress, of how a junior staff should be boxed up. Now, for me, like Kenny and Nene said, they cannot be bullied. It's the same way for me. I cannot be bullied. I'm sure people who have worked with me can say this about me. Number one, you give me an assignment, I go extra mile and I deliver, right? I deliver. I'm not expected to fall on the floor, hold your two legs and say, boss, I've delivered. This is what you sent me. No. I'm a human being, just the same way. Do you understand? My boss is a human being, or the people I have ahead of me are human beings. So I'm expected to act as a normal person, not as a junior staff. Do you get my point? So I've had personal...
Not in that mindset of what you have.
Yes. I remember somebody walking up to me in the office and just threw a file at me and like, I need XYZ from this file. I was just mute. I was staring at her. I'm like, I won't do it. She's my senior. Like, I won't do it. Why would you throw... Do you get my point? Why would you throw a file at me? I won't do it.
When you can just hand it over.
I'm talking to you, you are putting your hand in your pocket.
when you can just hand over the file to me.
Throw that chewing gum away.
The next thing I heard was she told somebody that she came in as a junior staff and she was bullied by her superior. She wants to do the same to...
I was going to get...
compensate.
Yeah, exactly. Just
is
to
it
make
really
herself feel
compensation?
Happy. Is it really compensation?
Or carrying on from the toxic...
It's just witchcraft, because I don't think it's everybody, even though there's this saying that when you reach your turn, if you no one do back, now you sabi. But I don't want to believe that it's every single person that passes through that torture from junior staff to senior staff that gets to becoming a junior. It's just like secondary school, where you are in JS1 and SS3 students are behaving like they have dinner with the devil every day. And then you are waiting to get to SS2, SS3 to do the same thing to junior students that don't know you from anywhere. I don't want to believe that it's the same thing that happens in the workplace.
Funny enough, it does. And I feel like for people who are very vocal and people who are very confident and vocal, they always have a problem. A lot of people have a problem with people who are very vocal.
Yes, if it actually happens like that, then you did not grow up. Because how can you... I can understand secondary school, their children, even in SS3, let's still classify them...
university.
Let's still classify them as children. But you cannot bring that gutter behavior to the workplace.
It's still a function of
upbringing
of people's experiences and all that. And in the long run, I mean, it's not going to stop. It's not like anything we're discussing here is
Yes, it's going to change
But then it
anything.
also crossed my mind that the converse side of this discussion is also that people also have a responsibility to want to integrate with the system. And by that, I mean, we can't play the victim culture all the time. Right? You also have a responsibility as a person to see, okay, you know what? How can I make a difference? And there's another crucial point, which is you were saying something about, oh, they've done it to somebody in the past. We also have a tendency as human beings to imbibe and inherit rubbish.
Gutter behavior.
Gutter behavior. Do you understand? Things you unconsciously,
Emphasis.
you learn, the moment you got into the organization, the first thing they told you was, you see the people in that department, very terrible.
Meanwhile,
see
you
this
don't have
particular
one-on-one
man.
experience
Experience
with
with
them.
them.
Experience. Nothing.
And you take everything they've said and you run with
With
it,
it.
right? And then before you know it, this very thing that you say you dislike, you are the king and the queen of the coven of the witchcraft. Do you understand? And I mean, so these things, again, we're discussing how they affect us in the workplace and in the work environment. And for our listeners at home, right, we're not saying you should go to your office and go and fight because they will sack you.
They'll sack you.
You
You're
will
gonna
to
go home.
Twitter and cry, we will like and reshare, but you don't have job.
Of course.
So nobody is saying you should go, but we're only saying, especially if you are in these positions where you can make a change. It's not just about showing profits. We know that every business is supposed to show profits. We know that as an organization, ICPC, we're supposed to be cleaning up the streets.
Exactly.
We're supposed to be cleaning up organizations. We understand these things, but you also have to look inward. Go to your department, go to your section, to your unit. Oh, what are the challenges? Am I being fair to you? Of course, there's this notion that style of leadership is very Gen Z.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So find what works
Yes, because
for you.
some people will now say even those who don't have problem will say their mental health is affected.
I mean, any small thing, the same. I can't deal. I mean, if somebody is talking to you anyhow and is affecting you, we understand. But are you the only one with mental health? See file on your table now. Okay, go to asylum if your mental health is. Do you understand? So we need to have that balance to make sure that you are also responsible for the people that are under you, so that you can create a conducive work environment, so that the main function of the organization, in our own case, which is our tripartite mandate of preventing corruption, of educating, prosecution, and everything,
You can carry it out.
Let's think about this. You say, there are some paramilitaries that carry arms. You can't be telling somebody that is about to go on patrol that is very useless because he has gone.
Yes.
Do you understand? This person is armed. This person has access to locking people up.
And
This
that statement might affect his psyche.
Yes.
He's not supposed
instantly.
to.
Because
Yes. Professionally, he is not supposed to. But you
As
as
a
a
human
boss
being.
have to be conscious of the fact that if you tell me that my head is not correct and I'm a road safety officer, everybody go collect. The place where you would have said, oh, don't do it again. Oga,
Tickets.
take tickets.
Straight.
Oga, we will tow your vehicle.
So even if when the person is begging you, you are not listening.
As you are looking at his face, he is resembling your Oga. And then maybe your Oga's name starts with K, and his name too is K, you'll be like, he's like they're even related. Let me wound him. If I cannot wound the one at home. Anyways, for me, I don't know about you guys, I've enjoyed this very much. And at this point, like, I know that if I continue talking, I'm going to start mentioning names. And I don't want to mention names. You guys are safe at home. But you know I'm talking about you.
Okay, so
To whom it may concern.
before we
That's the title of this
We wrap
podcast. Nimi, that's the title of this podcast. To whom
whom?
it may concern.
To whom?
It may concern.
So I'm sure a good number of our viewers are already in the system. But for those of you who are yet to join either government organizations or
Private.
private organizations, I've written down a few tips for you to, you cannot know any organization 100%, but just try these ones before you get in. Research about the company. If you know anybody inside, ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can ask. If they say we are family in the interview,
I know it's too early for us to be family. We are not yet family.
red flag. Then for those of us that are already in the job, one of the things I picked up when I was doing research for this topic is document everything.
Yeah, very important.
Document everything. Nothing is mundane. Document everything. Build a family. And we've established that in building a family, it's not 1 week after you employed.
Yeah,
Don't suffer in silence.
that's the point.
When you've built a family, you are careful in selecting.
Yeah.
So you will build a family that you can talk to. Know when to escalate a matter. Know when to let sleeping dogs lie. Know when to put in your resignation letter. Know when to say, I can bear it. Know when to say, it's the time of the year for me to take my leave. Know when to act. A job that pays your bills but destroys your mental health is not a good deal.
A job, can you repeat that, please?
A job.
A job that did what?
A job that pays your bills but destroys your mental health is not a good deal.
My mental health was shattered.
Because because in the long run you will make that money, but it's asylum that you finally find yourself. There are laws that back up. There's the Labor Act law. There's the Employees Compensation Act that covers workplace injustice. There's the Labor Act law that protects employees from unfair treatment and wrongful dismissal.
And while wrapping up, it's also important for people that are listening to also understand that while the ICPC is in place to tackle corruption and all that, for people, because we deal with abuse of office, actually.
Yes.
We deal with abuse of office. So if you're out there and you
Section
feel
19.
that you have been unlawfully treated in your workplace to the point where somebody in a position of authority or power has taken advantage of you or taken advantage of a situation, I mean, for what is worth, send us a petition. If we will have a look at it, because Kenny, you said section
19.
19, right? So it's very important.
Corrupt practices and other related
Of
offences.
fantastic.
So
So
abuse of office is an offense.
yes,
So, and if you feel that you've been treated unjustly in the office, feel free to write to us, or feel free to go to any of our 21 state offices across the country.
I'll make a
We
report.
will look at it. If we examine this and we come to a conclusion that it is under our purview, we will surely take action.
And also, don't forget to call our toll-free lines.
call our toll-free lines, call our lines, reach out to us on social media, send us WhatsApp, send us Instagram, laugh with us, tag us, follow us, stop insulting us.
Write your
We are your
experiences
friends.
in the comment section. We would like to hear. Maybe
Very
there are some
important.
things that we don't even know about that are happening in the work environment. Tell us your experiences. Let's make more research and deeper into this.
I mean, we might even invite you to the studio to come and gist with us.
Yes.
Of course.
And you might just be the lucky person. So
Well, for me behind the camera, yes, I'm behind the camera, but in front of a microphone. I remain Ola Millennial Daddy. Just in case you didn't know, but I'm sure you can recognize my voice. Oh, so thank you so much for joining us. It's been an
Thank
amazing
you,
session.
guys.
We cannot wait to bring you more interesting topics.
Yeah.
But until then, from me, it's bye.
It's all
Bye,
about the-
guys.
Comfort, say bye to the camera. Comfort.